Hey, what's up, guys? Good to be back with you again. I thought that before this next match, we could go take a look at some of the statistics and see kind of how we're doing. So, you know about the basic things here in the competition. We're actually technically in third place now, having only played 4 matches with 9 points. Ilawa and Toamata have won 5 in a row. But we have the same goal differential as them. So we should, if we can win this next match, be able to push forward a little bit more. And you can see here, I mean, looking up here at the start, at the very top, we don't have anybody on our goal scoring list. We actually don't have many players up here at all doing things that are fancy, except for Hengi Ikuvalu having the 1 clean sheet, and that's about it. In terms of team statistics, though, I mean, we're doing okay. We're first in the league in terms of goals scored, tied with Ilawa and Toamata. And part of the reason why we're not seeing any players really stand out is that we have a lot of very good offensive players. First in the league in attendance, there's no question about that, with a whopping 527 people on average. And we have now 1 game without conceding. Who cares about any of that? 50% average possession. It's about the same for every team in the league. That's not really statistically significant. But while I was thinking about making this, I was looking over here at the data hub, which now that I'm not using sort of a cheater tactic, is actually a lot more interesting to look at. You can see our general performance overall is it's better than the league by a lot, especially in terms of goals per game and non-penalty expected goals per game. Goals conceded per game, unfortunately, is a little bit more than the average. And shots per game is higher than average. Shot percentage is higher. Our pass completion ratio is right around league average, and then we're winning fewer tackles than we'd expect. I think that the reason for that is, let's see, where am I talking about? Here we go. I don't have stay on feet or get stuck in selected here, so we're not trying to tackle the opposition a whole bunch. I think that has a little bit more to do with exactly what's going on. And we could play around a little bit with this. I'm probably not going to do too much. We'll probably leave this sort of as it is because it's been working for the most part, other than the 1 match that we lost. Here's the data hub. Our attacking tends to be much better, except, of course, for dribbles per game. But that's because, as you've seen, when we get the ball, we tend to just sort of launch it forward and try for more counterattack than anything else. And in terms of defending, there's a couple of things that we really could do a little bit more of. Defending remains to be a major problem for us. We have few passes against in the final third and a lot of passes for in the final third, which is the way that we want to play. We're performing well above average, as we can see down here. And let's see what I was looking at last. Here we go. When we look at our player performance, we can see that we've had quite a bit of good performances as well. Now, I don't understand this, why when we're looking at forwards, Roy Ledoux is counted as a forward, because he's never played as a forward for us. He doesn't really play the position. When we look at the form, he's been playing as a winger. So I don't understand why he's counting in these ratings. It doesn't make any sense to me. But in any case, he has a lot of distance covered, a lot of sprints completed. He has low scoring and passive shooting, but it's because he's not really in that shooting position. He has a lot of passes, but has some problems with accuracy, which is kind of what we'd expect. He also has a lot of assists, which is kind of odd. I'm not exactly certain I understand how the two of these work together. And he has clinical shooting, but he doesn't shoot a lot. And again, it's because he's not really in a shooting role. I mean, when he's playing here on the left side, we do kind of want him to be an attacking player, but sometimes he has also played as the inverse winger on the right side, in which case we kind of want him to be a little bit more of a passer. So there you have it. It's kind of odd to me that they would choose to highlight that player out of all the players that we have. It may be just simply because he's one of the few players who actually has 3 matches, which is the thing that the game engine needs. Ikuvalu has few passes, but very accurate passes, and I think that that's mostly caused by us telling him not to just lump the ball out. So there you have it. We'll look here at our last 5 matches as well. All the stuff that kind of comes in. Now, I don't like this map because it's messy. I don't exactly know what it is that I'm looking at here, other than, we gained possession for 4 minutes or in the 54th minute, in the 4th minute or whatever. I mean, whatever. It doesn't mean anything. All right. Once again, I've talked about this before. I think it was on Reddit. You can see here goal scoring spells that 0 of our 14 goals have been scored while enjoying possession for from 0 to 10 seconds. Now, they were telling me here that the reason why that matters is because we are doing this counter press, right? And so what you want to see in terms of counter pressing and then countering as soon as you get possession is maybe some goals that are scored a little bit faster. We might want to change this over to hold shape, though I worry that then we're just going to sit there with the ball and let the defense recover. We have young players and they're fast, so what I'm thinking is that we probably want to just go ahead and let these guys run with the ball and take advantage of the advantage that we have over the other team. The thing that's just crazy to me is that we most commonly keep the ball from between 40 to 50 seconds, but it's a bad sign that we're not scoring from 0 to 10 seconds. I don't understand what that's supposed to mean. That's not very well written. It doesn't mean anything to me, right? What means a little bit more is that 4 of the 7 goals we've conceded have been close to the penalty spot, which is a problem, and we might actually want to add this low block on. That's the sort of thing I like to see in Football Manager, where it gives me an option, I mean, look at this here. We've conceded 2 of 22 shots attempted from outside the penalty area. I don't really care. I mean, there's just so few. They can shoot from out there all that they want. I don't care about that. We're going to have a low defensive line and try to prevent them from working the ball in. That's what we want to do. The rest of this is not really weaknesses or anything that really matters. What we're good at doing is we're good at scoring close to the penalty spot. We're good at winning possession back. I see that's what's going on. It's telling me about Tuala Lele and the amount of times that he's won possession. We're good at scoring from close to the penalty spot, defending well from the left, whatever. We have a good touches to shots ratio once we get the ball into the opponent's penalty area, which is exactly the reason why I thought that we should work the ball into the penalty area, because it makes a little bit more sense. We tend to regain possession well, which is very good. We have scored 13 of our 67 shots from within the penalty area. Again, a reason to take more shots from there. So this has been good. We have a lot of entries into the final third. I mean, what is this? This is ugly. This is just garbage, but whatever. We seem to be doing pretty well. We seem to be doing a good job, and I like seeing this. We just want to stop trying. We want to try to stop allowing goals to be scored here from really, really close in. And if we can prevent that from happening and focus on some of the things that we do well, we should be okay. Now, I will note that one of these is from an exhibition match. So as soon as we take this PanSa under 18 match away, which doesn't really matter to us, we can see a little bit more of exactly how we're doing. Other things that are interesting to notice is that Gogo Puasa has been able to regain possession despite losing it a lot. So I guess that's a good thing, I suppose. I don't know. You let me know what you think about that. Anyway, overall, the data hub is actually pretty cool. I kind of enjoy playing around with it and looking at the different things that you can see and the different things that are available here. There's some pretty interesting stuff that you can look up. It's useful, I would say, in terms of trying to create tactics and trying to sort of mess around with the stuff that's on the screen. I could be a little bit better, though. I mean, I think that it would be really nice if the game were a little bit more proactive about, instead of just saying, yeah, go look here and make it up yourself. If you had, like, I don't know, a data analysis who would come to you and say, hey, coach, I've noticed this thing that we could work on. What do you think about XYZ? That, I think, would be a little bit more helpful than forcing you to click over here and go into the other place. Honestly, the one thing I really wish I could see in Football Manager is a much better improved user experience, so that I'm not always in the freaking inbox looking at email and looking at these notes, right? We already have meetings, but the meetings come up in your inbox, right? It would be nice if the game would stop you and say it's time for a meeting or time for this, or if the game would stop you and say such and such NPC who is on your staff wants to talk with you about this thing he saw in the data hub that's important for you to know. And you'd have to program it so that the game's telling you something that's a little bit more important than just Roy Ledoux doesn't shoot the ball a lot, which, I mean, duh, that we're not telling him to take a lot of shots, right? But if they were telling you something like, look, I've noticed that when we give up goals is because of this thing or that thing happening, maybe we could do this or that to try to fix around it. That's the sort of thing that we kind of want to see. And there you have it. That's kind of my view here on the data hub, and at least my somewhat uneducated view on what it is that we can do. Now, I'm looking around here. It's not telling me this. Usually will tell you that the quality of your data, it's not going to be very high. When you look over here at our staff, I mean, we have one performance analyst, and that's it, right? This guy. So I'm guessing that this is the guy who's putting all of that together, right? We don't have a single head performance analyst, and we technically don't have the coaching position for that guy anyway. So, I mean, it might not be perfect. It might not be the best thing in the world, but we're going to enjoy it while it lasts. It's very, very nice that we have something as opposed to having absolutely nothing and just doing this blind. So anyway, there you go, and we'll keep it at that. Talk with you tomorrow. Bye.